Yes, welcome along to episode 13 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Johnny Dineen, counting down to the 2025 Cheltenham Festival. And Johnny, you got out of Cork for the weekend. You were up in the big smoke. How was the Dublin Racing Festival for Johnny Dineen? Not facts and figures now. We'll find out how your week in review went. But just as an overall experience, how
it was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a nice crowd. It wasn't like mobbed or anything like that. I was only there Saturday. I wasn't there Sunday. Nice crowd. It was probably a bit more pleasurable than last year, I thought. Now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But good atmosphere there is right. Yeah, like a bit like, even when the first race was left go, it was kind of like a mini Cheltenham roar kind of a thing. So no, it was good. It was good. And the racing was cracking there really for both days, to be honest. Some really, really good performances and horses there, exactly, yeah. And
Galloping the Champs won his third Irish Gold Cup and got an unbelievable reception. What did you make of the reception he got?
Look, I wasn't there for it because I was when the minute he won the race, I was gone. But I could sense from
the minute the race is.
Well, like when he went over the line, I was going away. You know what I mean?
Going home?
No, going back into Dublin. You know?
Into the hotel.
Yeah, well, I was going to maybe catch a bit of the road, just to watch bits and pieces of it. So I hadn't a lot of interest in betting in the last couple of races. So I said I'd go now. You know what I mean? I wasn't the only one going. Like.
So did you back Galloping the Champs?
I did win something, yeah.
And he won the Irish Gold Cup for a third time. The place was rocking, welcoming him back into the winner's enclosure, and you were gone.
Actually, they weren't going to miss me down.
Have you any emotion in those situations? That we spoke about Honeysuckle on the show a couple of years ago. For something like that, as a racing fan who watches horses every day in the week, have you no emotion in you that would like to go and clap or cheer or just be a part of the whole experience?
Unless I knew the people personally, I wouldn't have any interest in the owners I'm talking about.
Do you know the horse personally?
I don't really, sure I don't. You're a horse, like Mr. A, a horse is a horse, of course, you know what I mean? So, look, unless you knew the people, like good friends or something like that, I wouldn't go near the parade.
You don't feel an attachment to the horse?
No, I don't. I was glad he won at the same time for my own money. Yeah, exactly. But rarely now would I go near the parade ring now. Rarely, yeah. Right. Because I kind of know that if I go to the parade ring, I don't know about anything the horses to look at them really as such, no more than the normal Joe Soap anyway. And like it could be dangerous for me to start imagining stuff down there. So that's the reason I don't go.
Oh, before racing.
Yeah, exactly. Saying no, just don't look at him and you don't have a clue what you're talking about. That's all. I just stay up in the stand because I think that if there is anything wrong with the horses, it normally filters into the betting anyway, you know.
And how did the selfie count go? We said last week, was it over or under 6.5?
It was probably over that, but not by many now. You know what I mean? Not by many.
Yeah, from what I saw now, you couldn't walk 10 yards. But listen, there's plenty to dissect from the Dublin Racing Festival. So let's get on with the show. So let's kick off with Johnny's week in review. So you will know that Johnny Dineen has won week 1, week 2, week 3 and week 4 of 2025. So has the run continued, Johnny? Did you do 5 in a row?
No. I ran up in the rocks during the week.
Did you?
Yeah. I didn't. I actually won at the weekend, got something back, but I didn't have a bad week nor anything, but I did lose. I did a show that negative.
Did you?
Yeah.
How come? What was the biggest thing?
Just a few stupid things during the week now. I was a bit annoyed there. I lost me done. There wasn't even much on as well. Do you know what I mean? So look, those things happen. They do stupid things regular anyway. So look, but at the weekend, I didn't back many winners in Leopardstown either. Do you know what I mean? I laid a few losers, alright, but I don't back any winner there. You know that kind of way?
Well, the Galloping the Champs.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Just small on that as well. But I wasn't betting that big there either because I think the racing there's can be competitive enough. Like I'd rather back a short price once at another meeting where there's probably less opposition as such. But the whole weekend here was a negative, but it wasn't a horrific one either.
So going into the weekend, were you in a bad position?
I was dirty enough, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dirty enough, yeah.
Okay. What was your best result of the week?
The best result for me was I was in a hole on Saturday as well because I started bad. I backed the first loser in.
Yeah, you were chanting about that for a while. That didn't run great.
No, didn't jump a hurdle, and I backed the first loser in Sandown. That was 2.
That was 8-11.
No, the favourite one. I backed the wrong one.
Oh, right.
They backed the winner, they backed the winner off the board. I went the other way. And
the Moore thing.
Yeah, and the next thing I had a small bet in Soul Solution, but I gave it straight back in a horse in Weatherby, Luddoor or something. But I was in a hole anyway early on. But I took a chance lane meeting at the Waters, just closed my eyes.
Yes.
I said I'll never go here. I actually was going out the gate if that won. I wouldn't have been able to face any more interaction with human beings, I don't think.
If that one wouldn't like to be coming up to you for a selfie.
No, I had my mind made up. This is me
you
gone.
Could have done a Roy Keane on it.
I was gone. Yeah, I actually watched it near the gate. Even
did you?
I did for a quick exit. But thanks be to God, I didn't have to go anyway.
Well, you could have come back in nearly at halfway. That horse was the first beaten nearly, was he?
He was going okay up to the second last. And there was a whole host of horses converging. Next thing, I was saying to myself, I don't think he's going to win. He's a nice bit behind, and he didn't anyway. So
the colour's right anyway, because the first colours won the race, so you didn't get a scare.
No, I knew I was watching the right horse. Okay. Yeah, from early,
So you laid Meeting of the Waters.
Yeah, and for more than I normally would know. Okay. So I just said a 2-1. If 20 horses running for me here, I said I don't care what weight it has. I'll chance me arm.
So that was your best result of the week. What was your worst?
My worst result, and I didn't even intend to lay it, was Kopek the board. I laid that in running.
You did not.
I did, yeah.
Did you,
and I didn't lay it pre-race, but I did lay it in running.
Why?
Because it was so free. I was because I was looking.
It's free the last day too, though.
But this is a way better race, and I was just looking the way St. Lucie pulled on Saturday. This would have twice as bad, and was pulled up until coming to the second last. It was still dragging.
The loose horse, yeah.
And then the loose horse and all that kind of stuff. But I laid it at roughly about the same price it was going off. 180. I was saying, Jesus, doing a hell of a lot wrong here. Surely this can't keep going. But it did. No, I lost way more than I intended. I hadn't intended losing anything in the race because I backed 2 horses each way in it, which was going to do me. I backed Blue Devas each way was nowhere, and I had something on the second horse each way as well. Yeah. So that covered the one kind of broke even in those 2 bets. But I was raging that I gave him so much away in that race now, to be honest.
Okay, and any kind of unlucky losers?
I had a lucky winner last Tuesday, Bones on Fire in Limerick. And the only unlucky loser...
Why was that lucky? What happened?
Ash's horse fell at the last was going to beat it. The horse belonged to Mark Malloy. Okay. On the inside. I think it was going to beat it anyway. I was pretty sure it would. And the only...
Bowman was on fire last night as well. He scored.
He scored a goal, yeah, that's right. He scored the fourth, wasn't enough. The only unlucky loser, it mightn't even have been unlucky, was the horse in Musselburgh, Lucas Tipple. I think it still had a chance when it fell, do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah.
The winners come from behind it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And sort of drive into the strongest of stairs. I just said if unless it was ungenuine, it would have passed Solar Drive for sure. But maybe the other fella coming on the inside would have passed him. I don't know. Okay. But I would consider that as a fraction unlucky anyway.
So overall, Johnny, you're kind of slightly frustrated because it was just a bad midweek, but the weekend was okay.
The midweek was see, I can have bad days on bad days. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So I didn't get back what I had lost earlier in the week, but I was happy. It was manageable now. It wasn't in the general scheme of things. It wasn't a huge loss.
And there have been people watching this show and say, he's lying every week. He's saying he's winning every week. He couldn't be winning every week. Now you know, Johnny Dineen tells the truth. He lost for the first time in 2025 last week, and that's Johnny's Week in Review. So now it's time for Ask Us Anything, where you get to have your say on Upping The Ante. Get your questions into uppingtheante@racingpost.com. And before we start, a shout out to Robert Farrell, who's having an operation, I think, at the moment, but he said he'll be awake later to watch the show. So Johnny, you have to cheer him up, okay? So for the next 45 minutes or so, your job is to cheer Robert up. And our first question this week comes in from Neil Singleton. And Neil says, there is a member of my family who is an absolute jinx, Neil says, okay? Every time he places a bet and he sees this person, the horse always loses. Neil says it's been happening for 10 years now. And what he wants to know is, Johnny, have you got any punting superstitions?
Yeah, we'd have a lot of those now. Me and some of my cohorts, fellas that I bet with
some of your fellow rogues.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably all.
Right, give us the biggest one.
Probably all stemming back from the times in the betting shops. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was always jinxes in the betting shop. You know what I mean? And you'd be in a betting shop, and next thing, just say you were on Marine National, you know, on Sunday, right?
Against Solness, yeah.
Yeah, and the next thing, you could be 3 of us and we'd be all on it, just seeing things turning to the straight, and next thing you're getting hopeful. Next thing you hear a foot over in the corner. Come on, Marine, you little daisy. And next thing, oh no. And as soon as he'd open his mouth, it'd be like a tie a train to the back of the horse. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be able to walk. Do you know what I mean? And we'd be all looking at each other afterwards, and we said, Jesus almighty, look at that. If I knew he was on it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, put the back.
Yeah, kind of stuff. But I'm a big believer in jinxes now. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Still to this day. And I know it doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
But it makes sense to you.
It does, and I've seen it over the years. Like, I know that some of my pals are even worse. There was a fella in our town, and now he passed away since, but he's a lovely man now, but it stopped the Orient Express, he would. I'm not joking you, right? So one of my pals He'd just be hanging around the betting shop. He'd be in and around, you know what I mean? He used to drive down the town, right? He used to go around the town in case he'd see him. Because he reckoned if he saw him, he couldn't win, right? And another one of my pals was in a pub one day, and the same man came from behind him. He said he was having a pint, and he touched him on the back. He looked around, and he said it was like meeting the Grim Reaper. He said I didn't back a winner for 4 weeks after it. I nearly had to have an exorcism to get the spirits out of my body. He said it was unbelievable. He said these men, he said, have special powers. You know what I mean? but even to this day, like I hate doing it to some people, right? But I have fellas in my mind that are not particularly lucky, because bad luck follows fellas around. I don't care what anyone says. There are fellas that are lucky, and there are fellas that aren't.
You're looking at me very closely.
No.
You're scaring me now. Is it me?
No. I'd say you'll be fine. But what I'm saying is, if I'm at home, I'm having a bad day, right? And the next thing I see a phone call from a fella that I would recognise as being a touch of a jinx, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm on one to get out of trouble.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't answer the phone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'd say, geez, no, I said, this horse is enough weight now with this fella, without this man putting another stone up on top of it.
So your main kind of superstition is people.
Yes.
So people and And if any kind of stuff, you know, you have to watch a race in a certain place.
If I was at a race meet, I'd watch in the telly. If that did no good and that did, move to another one.
You moved to another one.
Yeah, I could finish up floating around the whole race course, like finish up on top of the stand watching the last one. You know what I mean? Like looking down top of it. You know what I mean?
And what do you like during a race? Do you have to have your hands in a certain position or fold your arms? Or
no, I normally sometimes if I'm sitting on a seat, right?
Yeah.
I know I'd be on my own doing this, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But if I was sitting on a seat watching a race and I really wanted one to win and it looked like it might win, maybe 3 out, I might get up off the seat, walk around and lean over the seat and watch it. And then if the race is over, sit back down again. Sometimes I wouldn't even have to wait till the race is over. It's got been that said, that was a waste of time getting up. Yeah. I'd normally only get up when I think I'm going to win. Right. But sometimes, maybe a furlong later, you say, no, this is not going to win at all. I can sit back down here again. But no, I'd be a big believer in the jinxes, yeah. That's a lie. Because I used to bring fellas to the races, and friends of mine used to be going insane. Why did you bring him? Why did you bring him?
Because he's a jinx.
Yeah, we're going to do our dough here now. No, and next thing, we get into the car after us. We had a bad day. Sure, you know we had a bad day. I'd be blaming you, man.
there we go. Any others before we go?
No, that's about it now. Yeah, but I still, like, to this day, when you hear no, I don't have much contact with people nowadays, so I don't really know. I don't be in the bench shop, but. I don't want to know what other fellas are on, because it could. I know people that won't back horses if they hear fellas are on them.
What age are you now?
54.
Grow up.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I know, it should
there we go. Yeah. Johnny Dineen's punting superstitions even. He takes us loads of jinxes out there. And next up this week is Jimmy Smith. And Jimmy says, after Ballyburn destroyed his rivals at the Dublin Racing Festival, can Johnny Dineen finally concede that he's got him completely wrong and that he's an absolute certainty for the Brown Advisory Novices Chase at the Cheltenham Festival? He says that 2-1 for the Brown Advisory, Johnny, is the bet of the century, according to Jimmy Smith. So Ballyburn. Yeah, look, the one thing I'd agree with Jimmy is that the 2-1 is probably fair. If you do fancy him, that is.
So
you've turned?
No, I haven't, no, but I think he'll be less than 2-1 though.
Okay.
I do think the 2-1 is fair. On the positive side for Ballyburn was his jumping was much more accurate, a lot safer, looked to be a pretty safe conveyance the last day. I was worried about him that he could make mistakes, but he you'd have to say his jumping was pretty decent all around.
Yeah, solid rather than slick.
Yeah, but like I'd say, like, I mean, if I was a jockey, I wouldn't mind riding him. He didn't look like he was going to fall at any stage, in my opinion. No, he kind of maybe fiddled the last fence a bit, but I'd say he was probably only trying to get over it because he probably had your man under cover. He thought, I'd imagine. There was one fence where he lost a bit of ground to another one, but I wouldn't mind that. I thought his jumping was safe. Like the positives for me is his jumping was safe. He finished strongly. He's going to be the jockeys, the stable jockeys mount without a doubt. So that puts him like in front of Dancing City in the betting. The race itself at 3 miles probably will suit him. I'd say it won't. It wouldn't. I would have said he will get the trip, no problem anyway. And what else is there? There's one other positive for him, I suppose. The race itself. There's only about 5 can win. There's him, Dancing City, better days ahead. And after that, you're into like Lecky Watson, Key to Bourbon. maybe Django Boy, maybe at a push. There isn't a lot. There's only 5 or 6. So he has to have a good chance. No, do you know what I mean? Now the negatives for him are, to me, like beating Croke Park is that Croke Park to me is miles off. Even though he's a dual Grade 1 winner, I don't think he's next to near a Grade 1 horse at the same time. I think he'd have to improve on that bare form, but he did win easy enough at the same time. Look,
did you think he was beaten at the last? I thought he was. I was surprised the winning distance was 5 lengths.
Yeah, you'd have thought that coming to the lap, when your man landed a length in front, it said, yeah, what's going on here? I was kind of surprised that Croke Park was good enough to get him into a ruck, because at no stage during the race did I ever think he was going to lose. Because
did you lay him?
I did, for something. No, not a fortune, but Imperial Pass ran terrible. The horse of Mullen's horse,
Champ Kiley,
ran atrocious. So, like, Croke Park is a horse that would, to me, I don't think it's even going for the 3 mile race, is it? And I don't think it is. But that would have no chance in the RSA. Look, Brown Advisory. Look, if you fancy Ballyburn, I think you'd back him now at 2-1. I think he's probably going to be late. He's a sexy horse. He's a big public horse. He'll be short on the day. I think he'll only be about 11 to 8 or 6 to 4. He has a good chance. I won't be backing him myself. He's far from a certainty around that, but he has a better chance now than I thought he had last week.
Okay. So you're not completely conceding defeat on the
no, I wouldn't. Like, the Jukebox Man being out is another big help to him as well. Do you know what I mean? That like, when I said he was a bad price at 5-2, like, you had the Jukebox Man running for you. Now you don't, you see. And like, the opposition is getting a bit thinner, and then, like, to be honest, I think Dancing City has a good chance of beating him, but only a good chance of beating him. Like, I wouldn't say Dancing City is a cert to beat Ballyburn or anything like it.
Okay.
Like, at the end of the day, Ballyburn won the 2 mile 4 novices hurdle. Dancing City was only third in the Albert Bartlett and the 2 mile 4 novice hurdle. So there is a bit of a class difference, I would have thought, between the two horses on hurdle form anyway.
Okay. Not quite the bet of the century, Jimmy, at 2-1, but Johnny doesn't think Ballyburn will go off 2-1 in the day, so maybe back him now. Now it's time for Aaron Foran's question, and Aaron says, of all the big blowouts at the Dublin Racing Festival, Johnny, who was the one that disappointed you the most? The one horse you will never be backing again, no matter what race it's in or who it's running against.
Yeah, look, I'll just give you 2 quick ones that I'd never back it at the top level again. Obviously, if they appeared in gammy races somewhere down the country, they could win them. But Il Atlantique's won, for sure.
How does he suck you in all the time?
Yeah.
I fancied him on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought that
he was beaten after about 4 yards.
He was in trouble anyway once he wasn't allowed to boss the race, yeah. Absolutely. And Gaelic Warrior is a horse I'd never get back in. Like, I didn't back him the other day, but I wouldn't even entertain him in a Grade 1 ever again either. Like, to me, fellas were cribbing about Paul Townley. Like, to me, Paul Townley was like a fella nursing a gammy car home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you know that it's about to break down? You know what I mean? Like, that he knew there was something like not happening. There's no point in putting the leg down to the accelerator.
I just want to go home.
Yeah, exactly. You know, without pushing the yoke. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing. Like, he could easily have pulled it up, I'd say. But I'd say whatever feel he was getting off. Now, I never rode a horse in my life, but I would say whatever feel he was getting, if I start pushing the head off it, it's going to implode completely. So I just nursed it away home, and he just ran on it like a never threatening third. But like
he was never in his comfort zone at any stage. I know he wasn't absolutely getting stuck into him down the back.
Yeah.
But I was watching him going, like, I fancied him. I was watching him going, this horse is not even remotely happy at any stage.
No. Like, once he went from third back to fourth, you were goosed straight away. You know what I mean? So, like,
they seem to think, I know, speaking to Willie afterwards, he spoke about El Fabiolo, who was fine after his fall. But he seemed to think probably something would show up. He thought maybe something will show up to explain the performance.
Yeah, it looks like a horse that might have an issue or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Because he's definitely not giving his maximum anyway.
And even the old Gaelic Warrior who, like, you know, rock and rolls. He just doesn't seem to have it this season.
He's lost that oomph anyway, hasn't he? Yeah. I certainly wouldn't.
Like, he was like, I was expecting almost him to do what Solness did.
Yeah, you'd be thinking that
that's his style.
He'd be up there in the van anyway, but he wasn't able to go. But look, I don't know. He looked like a horse with an issue, and to me, the Atlantique is a whatever the flat track bully, isn't he? Like, the minute he's taken on for lead, he don't want to
bullying me these days. Anyway,
yeah,
that's
I
what he's
wouldn't
doing.
be backing him ever again anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, and is it just ground related? Do you think with Atlantique?
No, I just think he's a soft joke that if he's not allowed control a contest, he just spits the dummy out. That's basically it.
Okay, so Gaelic Warrior and Atlantique.
I'd be two. I wouldn't be going near ever again. At the top level anyway, for sure.
There you go. Those are the 2 blowouts from the Dublin Racing Festival that Johnny Dineen has no time for anymore. And finally, it's Alex Fanning this week. And Alex says, Johnny, I know it was too early to definitely know what would have happened in the Irish Champion Hurdle, but how does Johnny think the rest of the race would have unfolded if Lossiemouth stayed on her feet? So how do you think that race would have unfolded? And now that Stateman is back on track, he's won another Irish Champion Hurdle, can he defend his crown in the Champion Hurdle at Cheltenham? So what would have happened, Johnny?
Yeah, look, I was kind of half surprised with the divided opinion. A lot of people were going one way, one were going the other way. You know what I mean? A lot of
After the race?
Yeah. They said that Stateman was lobbing along lovely and all that.
What did you think?
Like, I backed Lossiemouth, okay? And I was extremely happy with her before she fell.
Okay.
Now, would I have doubled my bet? Probably not. But I would have put 50% onto it at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Wow. Yeah. I actually did back it in running. And at no stage ever, because I was watching it in running now, and I had a few quid extra on her in running. At no stage ever did she ever not be favoured in running, like. Do you know what I mean? Like she went as low as about 4-7 early on in the race.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe heading for 2s on.
Wow.
Now, before she fell, she was back out to 179 or 180. She was back to more or less the same price as the race had started. I liked the fact that he took the lead off of Stateman.
Yeah.
Fellas were saying, why did he hold on? I was thrilled that he made the running on her. Because Stateman, to me, is nowhere near as good a horse if he's not allowed boss the race as well. Now, he'd have had to come by her, you know what I mean? I was extremely happy with her. And the way the race finished, now, okay, Stateman won, and he only had to stand up after she fell. But he lost about 20 lengths from the last bend home, coasting home. You know
I haven't been as shocked at a racecourse in a long time when it came up winning distances 6.5 lengths. I genuinely thought the judge had made a mistake. I presumed it was either 16, 26 and a half or something. I said, and I had to watch the replay, and I think I even said it to Lydia Hislop at the time. I said, what was the winning distance there?
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. Like, the camera angle focused in on Stateman, and if it hadn't focused in, you would have seen Daddy Longlegs making ground rapid on Stateman, and he did give Stateman a shake, and then he went away a little bit again. But it wasn't just quite as emphatic as I thought it was initially.
Two things as well. Two things that I take from it as well. When Townend was interviewed after it, they said something. He said it was a bit more like the Stateman. You know, in other words, like, kind of halfway back to what he was. The second thing, which is even more pointy in my opinion, he looked around him before the home turn. He knew Lossiemouth after Ford. What was he looking around for? Do you know what I mean? The other three didn't count. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Only that he was probably on fumes himself, there would have been no reason to look around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd say he looked around just to make sure that they were nowhere near him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'd say his horse was unconscious himself. You know what I mean? He looked tired to me anyway.
Going back in, he looked tired.
And another thing that's hugely important. The current betting for the Champion Hurdle, Lossiemouth's still 5-1, and he's 10-1 still, and that's her after falling.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty telling fact in my opinion. Anyway, like, if people genuinely, the general consensus with that Stateman would have beaten Lossiemouth, he should nearly be insider in the betting. I think Stateman is an absolute trillion gazillion. You could not make the price of him in the Champion Hurdle anyway.
You'd have to invent a new figure.
You
Johnny.
would actually, yeah.
So trillion gazillion.
I don't know what price
it
is anyway, but like, he has no chance in the Champion Hurdle, assuming that there's opposition. Like, you know what I mean? That the likes of Lossiemouth, brighter days ahead.
So if Constitution Hill, brighter days ahead, Lossiemouth and Stateman show up for the Champion Hurdle, and everything goes according to plan in the race for all four, what chance of Stateman?
I couldn't see him having any chance, to be honest. Yeah, like you could say maybe Constitution Hill goes wrong, brighter days ahead doesn't run, and Lossiemouth the fall. Maybe he's in it then, all right. Do you know what I mean? But under normal circumstances, I don't think he has any chance myself now, to be honest.
Is he a busted flush now?
I'm thinking he's starting to look that way anyway. You know what I mean? He don't look the shadow of the horse as he was last year anyway. Okay. And I just think I was absolutely finished saying, why didn't your man sit in behind him, and why didn't he just pick him off? Why did he ride? I was actually thrilled that he didn't allow him boss the race and took the lead off, or she took the lead off of him. And I was extremely happy with the way the race was going in here before she fell.
So if she didn't fall, you think she would have won?
I do, to be honest. Yeah, I do.
There you go. That's Johnny's thoughts on the Irish Champion Hurdle. And he reckons Stateman is a trillion gazillion. How many zeros is that? I don't know. For the Champion Hurdle. So now it's time for Star of the Week, where Johnny Dineen counts down his top 3 performances from the last week. Are they all at the Dublin Racing Festival?
They are, yeah.
Okay, so it's a Dublin Racing Festival special Star of the Week. Number 3.
Look, there could have been 4 or 5, but I'll go number 3. I'll go Final Demand. It was like he kind of like announced himself in that 2 mile 6 novice hurdle, the first race. Like he kind of set a tone as of one of the top performances of the whole weekend. One really travelled well, jumped, did everything right, coasted home. Like put a lot of distance between himself and the others on the running in particular, because I was actually watching it on the running and I didn't realise he won 12 lengths.
12 lengths, yeah.
Past me, he was about 4 ahead. You know what I mean? No, you knew he was in complete control of the race, but I didn't realise he won by 12. Can't understand for the life of me how he's not being mentioned as an Albert Bartlett horse. Cannot understand for the life of me why.
Why?
I just think.
Well, because he'll probably win the Turners.
Do you think so?
Well, do you not think he would?
I think he's a chance in the Turners, but I think there's no offers in the Albert Bartlett at the same time.
What price, if Willie Mullins revealed that he was definitely going for the Albert Bartlett, what price would you back him at?
No better back him at evens, yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, he'd be odds on in the Albert Bartlett if he runs it. That is a certainty. Wow. I don't care if there's 50 horses in the race. Right. He'd be odds on in the evens.
Yeah, I think they're going to run 50 this year.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. But he's a clear standout. Like if he's out of the Albert Bartlett, anything will win it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if he's in it, there's no betting in the Albert Bartlett. Now,
it seems like it's a foregone conclusion he'll go for the Turners.
Well, that's when he said afterwards.
Unless Willie is watching this show, obviously.
Nah, but he didn't look like a horse that wanted to come back and trip. Sure, if he went another 2 furlongs, he'd have been down the Dundrum shopping centre, wouldn't he? You know what I mean?
That's the other direction, Johnny.
Is it? I thought you'd go on the M50 to get to it anyway.
You do, but you'll be going back.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. You're heading towards Wicklow there.
Get out into the road anyway. Yeah. Anyway, look, I do think that for a horse that, like 3, I don't see anything wrong with the Albert Bartlett. I can't understand the kind of
negativity.
Yes, like with the likes, it didn't do like some Minel Indo, Bob's Ward, them kind of horses any harm, did it? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know, I don't know. To me, he's a tailor.
Even Allaho ran in it, like,
yeah,
you know?
Even last year, like the likes of the Jukebox Man and them, you know.
Stellar Story.
Yeah, exactly. So Dancing City was in tournament. Yeah. So there's some really good horses won there, like the likes of at Fisher's Cross, with Cheetah, Lineman, Blackjack Ketchum.
Blackjack Ketchum, yeah.
Look, I to me, like they know on board and I know about the horses, but if he ran in the 3 mile race, there is an absolute stone wall anyway.
Okay.
Whereas in the 2.5 mile race, there's plenty of opposition against him. Do you know what I mean? Like there are horses in the 2.5 mile race that would have won that race as easy, in my opinion.
One thing from the weekend, that takeaway that I took from it, Willie Mullins was interviewed at various stages, and I asked him, I said, it's about your novices. It's great to have these, top novices coming through, because before the Dublin Race Festival, we didn't really know. You had Salvatore Mundi and this and that. But he said, it's so important. He said, we're very lucky. He said, a couple of years ago, we got Galloping the Champs. Then we got Fact to File. Then, lucky enough, we have Majbur now. And now the next one is Final Demand. I thought that was interesting that he was holding him in that esteem with those 3 horses. That's a big statement already to make after just 2 runs from like.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt he's a very smart horse. I do think he has a good chance in the Turners. That's all though. But I think there's no opposition.
If he goes for the Turners, will he beat the New Line?
If he goes for the Turners, I wouldn't back him in a million years anyway. No, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't be saying. I don't know. I'm guessing. That could. I'm guessing that's still a possibility.
Okay, so price it up. What price is he to go for the Turners? And what price is he to go for the Albert?
Mullins is saying he's going for the Turners.
Yeah, well, you price up. You're the bookie. What price is he to go for the Turners?
I think it would depend a bit on the weather.
Okay, well, if it's good on the soft side, softish ground,
the softer the ground, the more likely he's to go for the shorter race.
Price it up for us. Go on.
Well, I wouldn't know. I'll ring what's the fellow in the weather? John, what's he called? The weatherman.
Which?
The famous weatherman. John something is his name. Does he work in the BBC or something?
Right, okay.
I don't know what his name is anyway, but he's I think he's a kind of a recognised.
Like Martin King in Ireland.
Yeah, that kind of a thing. Yeah. But anyway, I look. It all depends on the weather and what's going to happen.
But it's not 20-1 from to run the Albert Bartlett.
Jeez, no, not a hope.
Okay.
No, like I saw where he's double figures on the exchanges for the Albert Bartlett. I wouldn't like to be laying that. Whereas I would like to be laying Kopek the board double figures for the 2.5 mile race.
Yeah.
There's no chance in the wily world that'll run the 2.5 mile race.
Okay, we're coming on to him in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. There you go. That is number 3. I was got so engrossed there, John. I didn't even know what section of the show we were on. I think it's Star of the Week.
Yes,
okay. So 3 was Final Demand. Number 2.
2 I went with Galloping the Champ, yeah.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 Galloping the Champ. Look, great effort. Like one real well, like one a bit snug too, really, to be honest. Was always in kind of control. But his jumping was really, really, really accurate, really clever, just did everything right. And when they came into me, he was saying, like, geez, what's happening here? But he went away again. Once, like, he finishes his races really well. And like, sure, look, he's a brilliant horse. He's even the days he gets beaten, he runs well. Do you know what I mean? He don't ever run a stinker of any description. So, look, he's going to be impossible to beat in the Gold Cup, I think.
Well, he's definitely going to be impossible to beat now because it looks like there's only going to be about 3 runners the way things are going. Jerry Kalama's gone. It looks like Factor File now is probably going to go run in the Ryanair. They're dropping like flies. Grey Dawning has been taken out of the Gold Cup. So I know the way you're thinking isn't even in the Gold Cup, but he could be supplemented, I'd say, after what he did on Saturday. Johnny, do you know what I was thinking? Instead of going to the Ivy for a big lunch after the show here, I think we should go for a little jog and we might supplement you. There's a bit of prize money.
I cannot believe I know the way you're thinking isn't in the Gold Cup.
Well, he has to be supplemented.
Oh my God. I'd fancy him out of the way to be second in the Gold Cup,
absolutely.
to be honest. Now, there might not be in it. You know what I mean?
And it'll be a small field, so there won't be as much of an emphasis on his jumping either.
Unless he belts fences over there, he's second.
He's guaranteed to finish in the first 3.
Second best horse in that race,
He's the second best horse in the race,
yeah, I think he is anyway, because I wouldn't back anything that's in the field to beat him anyway, that's for sure.
He'll be supplemented.
I think he might be,
Yeah. Okay, that's number 2. Galloping the Shams. Greatest chaser you've seen after Kato Star. Is he up there with Kato Star?
Actually, he's starting to get there anyway, because as they say, the longevity is a huge asset to him as well. It's a huge... Like it's a huge factor in his greatness at the same time, and like he should be going for 5 in a row in Cheltenham, which is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. So that leaves number 1. Who is Johnny Dineen's star of the week?
I was Kopek the board. It was like you just looking at something, you're saying that
computer game.
This is something like that you don't see that often, and like what I said about Stateman, like Kopek's the board was allowed coast up the straight, right, and was actually putting lengths on the horses behind him, whereas Stateman was allowed coast up the straight and was losing lengths, if you know what I'm saying. Like they were being ridden like dynamos in behind Kopek the board, and he was still putting a length or 2 on him. I can't remember a performance like that in a long time anyway. Yeah. Like he is an absolute no offers in the Supreme, but the only thing I would say about him is that he's a fidgety type of horse, kind of a stuff like that. Could be a bit on the fracture side, maybe hard to contain on a day like Cheltenham, first day. If they can keep a lid on him, he'll win. But it's a bit of an if. It's a bit of an if. He's like a candidate that could do boil over there. Do you know what I mean? And he's a kind of a fizzy horse, isn't he? Like, you know what I mean? That's the only way he can get beat. But at the price he is now, I'd rather wait and see him go to the start and maybe take a fraction. He's never going to be any shorter than 6-4 on, surely. Like, you know what I mean?
And like even the offers after the race were just swallowed up in an instant. 7-4, 6-4.
Yeah.
Is he now? I think he's 11-10 in the exchanges now. Is that right?
He is. That's all he is. 2 points. That looks short considering that there is a chance. Now, I assume with a stable like that, they're not going to take any. But still, he'll have the earplugs and all that. But he still has to get around the prairie. He has to get to the start. Yeah. And he has to not like. Geez, he ran away with Jermaine the last day, like, you know, and still won. Can maybe if that could count against him, I don't know. Like, it's surely going to be a better race. Now, that was an ordinary race, now, to be fair. Now, like a really good horse should probably win well, but he looks a proper machine now,
And you couldn't really use Carnaquay as your gauge with Romeo Coolio because Carnaquay ran no race against Romeo Coolio.
Look, I don't think there's...
decent horse, Carnaquay.
I think the biggest opponent to Kopek the board is himself now at this stage, you know what I mean?
Okay. So Kopek the board is Johnny Dineen's star of the week at the Dublin Racing Festival, but who is his one for the Racing Post tracker? The one horse that caught your eye, and there were plenty, I'd say. I'd say this was tough to decide this week, Johnny. Who was the one horse that caught your eye that should be back in next time?
No, do you know what? It wasn't that I could only find one horse that ran over the weekend that I would have considered slightly unlucky, that possibly might have won, if things had gone in its own direction, like in its own favour. And that was Stormheart, who I didn't fancy pre-race.
At all?
Yeah.
You were just about right.
I actually laid it,
You were just about right.
I was sideways watching it, no going to the line I was,
Poor old Paul Keeley gave him an awful doing on Sunday morning.
He fancied it, fair play. But and like I would have said that was one I kind of half got away with laying that, you know. Yeah. There's plenty of money for 2.
He was a big eye catcher.
He's a 140. I think he's gone up a bit though. Yeah. But he's probably a contender for the county hurdle. But I suppose his 4-year-old form, I didn't think it was quite as I thought he was disappointing in the...
Well, he went off favour for the Triumph.
In the Triumph. I actually had something on him that day. I thought he ran poorly when he was 50 car G's in a melee in Punchestown. I didn't think he was that good. But I suppose 140, he's gone up a bit now. He's probably a runner in a race like the county hurdle.
Yeah.
Now, to me, he was the only horse that a fella could say, look, I think we should have won there.
Yeah.
He made a lot of mistakes, he did.
Yeah.
And he was out wide and finishing fast now,
I'd say he works like a demon at home. They
probably,
seem to,
yeah.
I don't think they've got the best out of him on the track yet, yeah.
But on the subject of Kopek, wasn't it fantastic for, like, I wouldn't get emotional or anything, but for the people that owned it, for new people like that nobody really knew anything about.
The McCarthy's,
Yeah, from Cork, from Fermoy.
Oh, they're one of your, here we go. Well, they're one of your own from Cork.
Yeah, but I barely know them. I know the couple of young fellas to sail out to him, that's all. I don't know the father now. I know of him. Like, I'd say they're very nice people anyway.
Yeah, seem lovely,
yeah. Like, he was like, okay, Charlie, the father is probably more money than God, but still, he was going to portray himself in some small, but still.
God is not going great at the minute, though, is he?
Stop with you. I wouldn't mind being a few lenses behind him anyway. But he, but lots of people have plenty of money and they can't get a horse like that at the same time. And to have your 4 young fellas with you. Magic. Absolutely, yeah. I thought that was nearly the best of, like, even though it lost me money, that's something that would have...
Jesus, Johnny, you have a heart.
They did actually appeal to me now.
Still beating, is it that hard?
I know if my young lads, like, if I had a horse in Leopardstown anyway, they wouldn't be there anyway for starters. And if I rang him and said my horse wouldn't Leopardstown, he said, have you got a leopard or a horse? They wouldn't care. I'll ring you back. I'm on the Xbox here. Yeah. But I think it was great to have for a father to have his 4 lads with him that obviously have an interest in it.
Absolutely.
And to get heading there with a really, really live chance. It's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. Johnny Dineen's won for the Racing Post tracker. It's Storm Hart, who could be a county hurdle contender. It's Johnny's never ordinary moment time now, and it can't be Galloping the Champs returning to the winners' enclosure at Leopardstown after the Irish Gold Cup because you weren't there. You were out the gap. So what is your never ordinary moment, which should have been the reception that Galloping the Champs got? Yeah,
look, a never ordinary moment for me was the leap that Magborough threw at the third last fence in that 2-mile chase. Yeah. Jeez, he put up a good effort, man. Like, he's probably really unlucky not to be in my top 3 as well. You know what I mean? He could definitely...
And he had made mistakes, like...
He'd made niggly little things, yeah.
But he never looked like Full.
No, but there's a big jump in him, though, at the same time. Do you know what I mean? And
the like, camera angle as well for that jump. Like
yeah, I thought he was hugely impressive now. Hugely impressive. Like, if I thought he was going to be let bowl, I'd have sold out in him, to be honest. Yeah. But I thought he'd be last of the 4 going round. You know what I mean? I didn't expect him to make the running in a million years. But the minute he was allowed into the lead, I was saying, this is over. This is absolute. Like, I actually laid Il Atlantique in the finish because I was saying to me, he's only about 9 to 4. You he was like, I think like the original bet was probably...
How could any Egypt fancy Il Atlantique to beat Magborough? Like, honestly, like, how stupid can people be?
Well, that's it. But like, these things happen, I suppose. But I thought he was impressive, and I thought he was real strong in the running.
Oh yeah.
Now, and I don't know what's going to happen next weekend with Sergino, but your man is a real credible opponent. It's the one race of the festival that I'm really looking forward to.
Will you get excited for that one, Johnny?
I'll be looking forward to that one. Of all the, and fellas saying, like, you can't have 2 horse races. This is going to be one for the ages.
And the thing that's magic about it as well is they're both 5. Do you know what I mean? We're going to have another 5 years of this at least. Like,
well, whatever, you have to stay sound. But I thought it was like, when you see him with his head going out over the line, it was like he cocked his jaw and he said, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? What do you think of that, Sergino?
Yeah.
I'll see you in Cheltenham.
I'd say it wouldn't have made for the most pleasant viewing in 7 Barrows now.
No, but he's a huge opponent to Sergino. Huge opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. So Johnny's never ordinary moment. It was that spectacular leap from Magborough at the 3rd last. Now it's time for that treat. Yes, it's midweek treat time, and Johnny, you have been knocking it out of the park of late. Another winner for midweek treat last week. And because there was a lack of racing, obviously, if you remember last week, we didn't go for midweek. We went weekend in England. And Johnny, or wasn't even in England, it was in Scotland, in Britain, should I say. It was the Kaluki kid in the Scottish Champion Chase, did the business at 2-1 for Johnny on Saturday. and was bigger than that, wasn't it? It was
It was
returned to
4-1 at one stage.
4-1 at one stage. Okay, so that's 6 out of 12 now for Johnny's midweek treats. That is some going, I have to say, Johnny. So 6 out of 12. So let's keep this rolling now. So you're 5 out of the last 6 weeks you've got up, would you believe?
Is that right? Yeah.
So what have you got?
I'll go over back to normal, bit tighter price. Oh. I'll go Caroline Bamboo tomorrow in a maiden hurdle in Fairy House.
Time is that at?
I think it's 325.
Okay.
It's running against Swing Davis. Now it's given at £8. Now she was fraction disappointing in Ace that she didn't get over the line in Ace, but Swing Davis is in my tracker now, and I don't have many in the trackers to be backing against every time she runs.
So you do that? You put stuff in the tracker to back against?
I'm a mental tracker, I don't keep it put horses into the tracker ever, but she's in it.
So no matter what she's running against, you're going to back something to beat her?
She's in it for a reason too, because I'm after backing her a few times and I won't be backing her again. Okay. I just think she's half a professional loser at this stage. Okay. And Caroline Bamboo is giving it £8, but I think we'll give it £8, and I think we'll win too.
Okay, so that's Caroline Bamboo. 325 areas?
Yeah.
It's Johnny Dineen's midweek treat. So what you want to know now is what's happening this week, and we're going to preview 4 races. The Kingmaker from Warwick and the 3 big races at Newbury on Saturday. It's going to be a super Saturday at Newbury on Saturday. Your favourite track too, isn't it?
It's one of them anyway, yeah. I love Newbury, yeah. It's particularly in a quiet day, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Very, very nice place to go to. Classy place too, isn't it?
Classy, yeah. Okay, let's kick off with the Kingmaker at Warwick. Low de Sud.
That has nothing to beat here. Is it Low de Sud, more or less?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say that's no chance.
No.
Well, obviously, Sergino looks like he's going to go to the game.
There's no opposition to it. Like it has to win. If it's.
Is there anything Low de Sud can do here to prove to you that he is a big danger to Majbur and Sergino?
No, I don't think so. Like he was 8-1. Now he's about 20-1, and he hasn't even run since. You know what I mean? That'll tell you what's after coming out of woodwork. So, look. I'd be surprised if he could lay a glove on those horses myself.
Yeah. So, but he just wins here.
He should win here because he's in a grade that he's way over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but he'd be going in a different grade at Cheltenham.
Okay, so the game spirit then, keeping on the 2 mile theme, the game spirit at Newbury. So Sprinter Sacre won this as a novice. Okay, Altior won this as a novice. Sergino is obviously taking the same route as those superstars. But God, it's not a bad race.
No, I can't believe he's so short in this race, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Like, okay, Sprinter Sacre did it and Altior did it, but...
he could be as good as these,
He could, but he needs to be.
Yeah.
He needs to be taken care of, like the likes of Liberty Hunter, Matata, Edward Stone, you know. There's another good horse in the two. There's about 4 horses that he has to get the better of. On his second run over fences, it's a big ask. It is. I wouldn't dream of backing him anyway.
Would you not?
No, not a hope would I back him.
What price should he be?
I don't know what price he should be, to be honest. I don't know. But
would you back him at odds against?
I wouldn't back him at evens, I don't think. No, okay. I don't think I would. I just wouldn't appeal. I'd like to see how he gets on here, you know what I mean?
Like these are proven, proper, quality jumpers, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Like they're not going to make mistakes, these horses.
No, JPR1 is the other one.
Yeah.
That's another really good horse. Especially if the ground was improving a bit. Look, if he can tear these asunder anyway, he will beat Majbur as well. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think it's a bit of an if. I just wouldn't back him. I think from memory now, I can't remember. I have a feeling when Sprinter Sacre ran it, there was nothing in the race.
There was one big rival, I think. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I think a Nichols horse ran against him, yeah.
Was it? Yeah, but like there was definitely 3 or 4 anyway, you know what I mean? So, look, maybe he'll win it, and if he does destroy him, like I'm now at the minute giving Majbur every chance of beating him.
Are you?
But if he takes care of these, that'll be put in the back.
But if he does take care of these and wins impressively, and Majbur in the Mullins camp is the next big thing in the month. So you got the next big thing in the Henderson camp against. It's going to be some spectacle.
No, I think there'll be no spectacle if he takes care of these easy myself. But I don't think it will be as easy as the price suggests. Yeah, I couldn't back him. If he is as good as this and he can take care and mangle these horses, he's a fair detail, is right.
Okay, there we go. Moving on to the Denman Chase, Johnny.
The Denman Chase is an awful contest, isn't it? Like, isn't it? It's some renewal of this race.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a veterans chase, isn't it? Like, it's
we have a few veterans in there. Eldorado Allen, Sam Brown.
I was looking down through, and next year I landed on Sam Brown at the end. He was the last horse.
Did you land on him?
No, I didn't, but I was the last horse on the list. I said I couldn't back any of the rest of them. Yeah. And I got to Sam Brown and she couldn't back that out, you know? So,
what about me old buddy Jello?
Would he even stay, though? Would he, like,
you know? But he might even have to.
He's coming on the back of a bad run as well.
Braveman's Game seems to have the national as his aim. But will he win this Braveman's Game? He should, shouldn't he?
How could you back him, like, Braveman's Game? Like, these are like open lightweight horses, aren't they? Like at this stage, you know what I mean? I don't know. If I had to pick one, and I wouldn't have bet in the race in a million years. I think I'd chance Gala, whatever you like.
Gala, would you?
But it would be with zero confidence at the same time. Yeah. I just think it's a race you could.
Is Brave Man's game gone at the game?
It looks that way. Yeah, it looks that way.
And you don't think J-Lo will stay?
Well, Jello didn't look like he was crying for an extra 2 furlongs in Windsor, did it?
I don't think he was right at Windsor.
Maybe
myself.
not, yeah. Look, I tell you, whatever got into a rhythm here on a going day could win this. If that was Jello, he'd probably get the trip all right. But I couldn't have bet in it. I just couldn't have bet in the race.
Okay, and the big handicap hurdle at Newbury, it's the William Hill handicap hurdle this year, formerly the Betfair hurdle. I like going in this. Yep. Yeah,
I don't have an opinion, but so I have an opinion, but this is.
Well, what if you were forced now? What would your selection be?
Joyeuse, maybe.
Joyeuse.
But she's not a great price though. She like
no,
5
you have
to
some
1.
faith in you there at the minute.
Well, you know, like I was giving her a chance, but then I saw her price 5 to 1. I was saying, like I think she only has a chance. I wouldn't have a bet in the race. I think it's wide open, as this race normally is.
Okay. That is what's happening this week. I fancy a horse in that race. That is going to be my charity bet for DJ versus JD. So stay tuned if you want to. Maybe you might want to zoom on to the next section. But that is what's happening this week. The big punting survey is back. Punters, it's time to have your voice heard on major betting issues. Plus, you'll automatically be entered into a prize draw for one of 5 £50 Amazon vouchers. Visit racingpost.com/BPS or scan the QR code to take the survey today. Yes, now it's time for DJ versus JD, our weekly charity bet competition. And I non-runner last week. I'm plus €137.50, so still in profit. And Johnny, you're minus €237.50. So
right.
We got to turn things around. Can I go first this week?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So we spoke about the big handicap hurdle at Newbury on Saturday, and as you know, Johnny, I'm in a Liverpool group with a few mates, and we're going to the Liverpool Wolves game the weekend after next. So we are,
great.
yeah. So I'm back over. It'll be. I was at the Ipswich match, so I'll go back over for the Wolves match, so we're going to have a good weekend. So every so often, a couple of times through the year, we have a cut at one.
Okay.
And we've had a cut at one here, Johnny. Ever since I saw that handicap hurdle at Windsor on the big Winter Millions weekend, I said the winner of this big Newbury handicap hurdle is Hansard from the Moor stable. Now, I know the Moors haven't been in terrific form this season, but to me, everything about this horse screams this race to me. Look, he was well beaten in the end at Windsor, but I thought he hated the track. He travelled beautifully through the race, then just got himself in a bit of traffic and just came home in his own time. But I think he's made for Newbury. Flat track, left-handed. He won the Jerry Fielding at Newbury last season off a mark of 138. To me, everything has been geared towards this race for this horse. He's had 2 runs since he's came back from a big absence. I thought he was so eye-catching at Kempton over Christmas as well. Travelled beautifully that day as well. Then came on to Windsor, and he was a big drifter late at Windsor as well. But again, just watch the way he travelled and jumped through the Windsor race. He would poke your eye out. Obviously, he was a little bit further back than ideal in that race, through the race. Never really got into it. But the big long home straight at Newbury, I think, is going to play to his strengths. We've had a little nibble of 20 to 1, so we're hoping it'll pay for the expenses the weekend after this at Anfield. And hopefully he'll do the business. He's now 12 to 1 with Bet365, so I will have my 50 quid on Hansard, who I'm very keen on for the big handicap hurdle at Newbury on Saturday, the 3:35. What do you make of that?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't argue.
I've been talking, so Johnny, you can tell I've been talking to you about this horse for a few weeks now, haven't I?
Yeah, you're sweet in this fella. Yeah, I don't have a huge opinion. I find the Betfair hurdle is or whatever. Who William Hill now, yeah, or the Schweppes or whatever it used to be called.
The Schweppes, yeah.
It's probably a hard race to hit the winner of normally. I don't ever remember back in the winner of the Schweppes hurdle myself anyway, to be honest. I might have had many attempts, but I definitely can't remember ever jumping for joy after that.
You're not going for the big handicap hurdle for your charity bet.
No, I go for a handicap chase. I think it's the next race after that. 410. Heracles Westwood.
Yeah,
has some great tricks.
Great form, yeah.
He's creeping up a bit in the weights, but he's not going up a lot. He's only going up in single digits. You know what I mean? So he's a horse that likes to win. It gets him into a struggle. How I know that, because I laid him one day in Fontwell in a handicap hurdle. There was a biggish field. He was short, and I chanced laying him anyway. And he looked in real bother, but he kept going and he got into it, and eventually he won it. And I've been keeping an eye on him since. I don't know if I backed him or anything like that, but he's a horse that, if you get him into the final stages of a race, he wins. You know what I mean? He like, if he's there going to the last with something, he'll be staying stronger than the other one. I would have thought anyway. Whatever it'll be, he likes to, like, once he's in a race, he can close it out. You know what I mean? And he's a strong stayer. He's course form. Well, he's gone up a bit, but he's not gone up in eternity either. And I think he might have a bit left in him, and I'm going to go with him anyway.
Okay, Heracles Westwood for Johnny in the 410 at Newbury is his charity bet this week. And I'm with Hansard in the 335, the race that precedes Johnny's charity bet. There you go, that's this week's DJ versus JD. So it's the moment you've been waiting for, because this week, please, Johnny, please tell us you've got a tip.
I have.
Good,
and
good.
And next week.
And be the Lord God.
One in the hand even, one in the pocket,
There we go. So Johnny has got a selection. Before we get to that, let's have a quick look at our festival squads. And Johnny, we'll go to you first here. K.T.
Or Gunner, reg order. That has no chance anyway yet.
No, not great.
In the pocket, no chance.
In the pocket, yeah.
No chance.
Sounds victorious.
Well, look, if the favourite or if Final Demand runs in that race, Sounds Victorious couldn't possibly win. Yeah. But if he didn't happen to run and they bet 6-1 the field, which is probably what will happen, it's like a race anything could win. You wouldn't know.
So you're not even giving up completely?
No, not dismissing him completely.
He must have something on you, has he?
I know he didn't.
Sounds Victorious.
Like when he was dropping out going to the second last day, I said, "Jesus, I can't believe this is running as bad as that." Yeah. But it finished fifth afterwards. It stayed on, but it's fair slow. Yeah. It is as slow as a hearse. I'm not joking. Yeah, I was watching it go up to the line. It was, but his jumping is horrific.
It can't
jump. No, it's jumping, losing the length of two at every hurdle. But
lovely horse, doesn't jump, can't travel,
and
slow,
and very slow. Put this way,
great combination.
If he did hit a day where he's jumping improved, because he will love 3 mile. Like he'd be staying maybe in his own time. Look, it's a race that the likes of Very Wood, Bertie's Dream. Last year's stellar story. A 33-1 chance could win that. Do you know what I mean? No, he couldn't possibly beat Final Demand. But if you took Final Demand out of that race, it's a lottery in my opinion. Yeah. No, whereas I would rule out K.T. Like K.T. maybe he had an injury going to the race, whatever, but he didn't jump a hurdle. Like he's never ever in his life going to beat Kopek the board anyway, is he? Like, you know what I mean? So I would be dismissing him out of hand, and
that's two.
That's two gone, yeah. And in the pocket's gone. That's 3. Yeah. So I'm not in great nick. Although Factor Fight is a big chance now, I'd say.
In Ryanair,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like that's its finishing effort surely would point it in the way of the Ryanair. It can't win the Gold Cup anyway, can it? Like,
and July Flower obviously having the mare. So what's your thoughts now on Lossiemouth and Brighter Days Ahead?
Well, Lossiemouth is going for the champion hurdle, isn't it? He said that.
And what about Brighter Days Ahead?
The betting is saying Brighter Days Ahead is going for the mares. I mean, I think it'll be a travesty if she goes for the mares. But look, the betting money speaks all languages.
Do you know what's mad though, Johnny? If you look through the champion hurdle, right? You cannot possibly say, for all that I adore Constitution Hill, you can't say he's getting any better. Now, he mightn't be getting that much worse, but he's not getting any better. Statement is not getting any better.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't look, from what we've seen so far, that Lossiemouth is getting any better than she was last season. The one massive improver potentially in the race is Brighter Days Ahead that's going that way, whereas the other ones just mightn't be.
Look, Statement is far off being a busted flush. Constitution definitely has a wind issue that could come against him in any race at any stage. And Lossiemouth's coming on the back of a fall. Yeah. Like, what is there not? What are you running in the mares race? Look, I don't know. I mean, it's not my horse, so obviously the fellas be talking about the cows come home. But I can't see the logic behind running in the mares race. Okay, if they never had a winner there before, you'd say something. But you've had tons of winners, they've tons of money. They don't need a win. Like, it's not.
She could win it too. She could win the champion hurdle.
Oh, it's a great chance. Great chance. She'd be clear second favourite, sure. You know what I mean? When was the last time a horse that was going to be second favourite at champion hurdle didn't run?
Was it Lossiemouth last year? No.
Yeah, probably. And under so another year, right? That's exactly it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at my list now, and it's so funny. I was chatting to Johnny.
Might even have been favourite, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, she might have been favourite. We have a look at my list, and it's so funny how these things change from week to week. Because I was coming, like last week, you'd say Romeo Coolio. Massive chance in the Supreme. Like, how could you not give Romeo Coolio a massive chance and then go back to board? Just kind of deflates,
One of the big things I couldn't stop laughing at the weekend. I don't know what channel it was on. What channel was Nick Luck on? Was that Racing TV?
Racing TV, yeah.
Yeah, it was when Lossiemouth had fallen. I think he was interviewing. I don't know what he was in, but over comes Rich Ricky. I think Rich Ricky is a great character. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, he says Willie Mullins was coming in around the same time. They kind of merged, you know what I mean? And Nick Luck was there, and he said, "You might be watching, but I couldn't stop laughing." He said, Danny says, he's taken away in the ambulance, you know what I mean? Like, and they said, but the mayor's okay. It was like, you know, in the film, like, the mayor's okay, but Danny didn't make it. You know, when an American accent is so strange in the national
It's
like
Danny actually was fine. He rode the next race.
What I mean.
What a legend.
He rode the next race, but it's like Danny didn't make it.
That is, so as I was saying, with my list, Romeo Coolio looked like he had a great chance until Kopek de Boer came along. Potter's Charm, 22-1, was looking glorious a few weeks ago, but I'm still hanging on to Lulamba. Hopefully will be.
Yeah, well, Lulamba's a good chance of getting you out of a hole. In fact, the final.
What do you mean? I'm not in that big of a hole. Calm down now.
Yeah, well, that's your main
banker.
your main bullet. Like, in fact, the final is my main bullet if it goes for the race.
Do you know what my main bullet is? I still can't believe the price. Delta work. Anyway, so that's my list. But I'm having no selection this week in my festival squads. I'm leaving it to the main man. The reason you watch this show is for Mr. Johnny Dineen. So take it away. The floor is yours. Talk for as long as you want. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sweet are you on this horse?
Pretty sweet. Not sweet on the race itself. I don't like the race. But
okay, so don't tell us the horse. Give us the race first.
The Boodles.
The Boodles?
Yeah, and not sweet. Not that sweet because it's going to be big fields. And it's going.
What is it?
Total Look.
Okay.
I fancy Total Look quite strong. But obviously it'll need a bit of luck and running at the same time.
12-1 with Bet365. Go onto the site. 12-1 Total Look. You'll see that boosted offer there on Total Look for the Boodles for the purposes of Upping The Ante. So why do you fancy Total Look?
It wasn't a bad flat horse, like 79. No problem with ground, no problem with getting the trip, which is massive. So if the ground come up good or heavy, it doesn't make any difference. Won a maiden hurdle in Navan, first pop. Straight away, first time out of a hurdle.
Impressive that day.
Yeah, then brought it to Cheltenham against the horse of great Quaintux Hills and that. Made a few niggly little errors, and I'd say only for that would probably have won. Then the last day in Punchestown.
What'd you make it on the last day?
It ran fine. It had 12 stone 1, and the ground was probably pretty testing there, probably slightly out of its ground, but it finished off nicely. Look, I'd say the fact that they have Hello Neighbour is driving them down this route. Otherwise, it probably would have been named down the Triumph Hurdle route as a lively, as a maybe sort of an outsider 25-1 chance. But they have the third favourite in the Triumph, so they couldn't go. They're not going to run the 2 in the one race. So obviously, this is the route for him. I just think that there's a good bit of improvement in him. He's in a lovely little weight. He's in the mid 120s, I'd say. He will have less than a rating of 130 going into the race. I think if he gets, you need a bit of luck in a race like this. But if he can avoid hardship, I think he will go very close, and he's a certainty to be favourite. An absolute certainty to be favourite. Yeah, I don't care whether he wins or loses. Anyway, he will be favourite. With Cromwell's record nowadays in the handicaps, he's going to be a sexy horse in the day in my book anyway.
Well, you've sexed him up a bit today.
Yeah, but I just think he will be favoured because he's winning all these, like the back to normals and all these races. He's winning nearly every handicap now, and he's a better trainer than a handicap trainer too, obviously. But his record in these kind of races is, and fellas will like a bit like I know the way, like fellas won't forget I know the way you're thinking, like last year in the hurry either. Do you know what I mean?
So you think he'd go off 6-4?
Not at all. No. But he could be about 11-2 favourite. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That kind of way.
You think he'd go off favourite?
I do. I think he'll be 6-1 favourite. In around that, I think he'll be favourite. Yeah.
Okay. So Johnny is adding Total Look to his festival squad, 12-1 with Bet365 for the Boodles. Little did I think he'd be putting up for a horse for the Boodles a month in advance, Johnny.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping he gets there now, but I do think he's an outstanding chance, yeah.
There we go, an outstanding chance. It's Total Look in the Boodles. And finally, it's time for Johnny's joke of the week. What's been wrecking your head this week, Johnny?
No, what interests me is Thurles is due to be on Thursday. And like I remember going, it was one of the first tracks I was brought to when I was a youngster at Thurles.
Great
with
memories.
My dad, yeah, and the ground was always associated with like wet and
bottomless rain.
Yeah, exactly. But no, for some reason they can't produce like National Hunt ground for some reason. The ground is going to be good there on Thursday. Yeah. I think it's been good and lively nearly even the last day at their kind of marquee meeting. The ground was too good.
A lot of non-runners.
Yeah, like there was a day there early on in the year where I think William Munnins came down and pulled out all bar one horse.
Yeah.
I think he pulled out 9 out of 10. That's in around that anyway. But it was like a 1-40 chance. So like I don't know, that kind of a situation seems
something needs to be done.
Yeah, I think so.
They obviously don't have a watering system.
They don't have a watering system. Yeah, but
how can we get one in place at Thurles?
I mean, I have no idea why. I don't know nothing about the place, but I'm just saying that they're producing like summer ground in the winter.
In the middle of winter.
Yeah, like every place is a quagmire. Like Fairyhouse tomorrow is soft to heavy or something like that, heavy or whatever. Like this place is still good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to matter what kind of rain anywhere around the country gets. Like the place was submerged with snow there at one stage. You'd have thought that would have softened the ground.
Yeah.
No good. It doesn't seem to happen.
And it's sad because you say we've some amazing memories of
Yeah,
Thurles.
like-
Thurles Thursdays is what we grew up with in Ireland.
Like there were, like fellas would say when we were young fellas, it was the only all-weather meeting. It was always on. You know what I mean? Like, but now it's gone. It seems to have gone the too far so far as that it's too dry. And like I can understand why people won't run horses there, and the quality of horse there has gone down a lot. And like. Like you wouldn't run a good horse there.
No, and do you remember even the days Don Cossack and
I think
Sizing John and
I think I know I might be wrong, but I'm feeling I seen Buckhouse running there years and years ago. Like you know what I mean? I think so.
Showing your age now, John.
Yeah, I think so now. Yeah. He was owned by people from Thurles, wasn't he?
It is sad though, isn't it? We'd love to get that problem sorted.
Yeah, I don't know how. Like I know an easy answer to it, but like it's like a place that should have summer racing now. You know what I mean? Like jumps racing in the summer. It doesn't seem logical why it's closed. Like I'm not saying close it down as a race course, but if you can't like come up with.
They can't have summer racing because if they have summer racing, they can't water. Sure, be called off.
Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe you could have flat racing there or something like that. They have an odd flat meet. Now, I don't know what you can do with it, but like, do they still have schooling sessions there? I imagine there can't be a huge queue to school horses down there now on the current ground.
And oh God, I had some great days in Thurles over the years. It was a magic place to go racing on a Thursday, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just love the beef sandwiches there.
Oh, nice beef sandwiches.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Roast
beef sandwiches. Yeah, love them. Yeah, I couldn't wait to get there. Yeah, that was the highlight for me.
Was
it? I was only young when but I couldn't wait to get the beef sandwich. Yeah, but no, I don't know. There's maybe no easy fix for it. I don't know what the solution is.
Frustrating though, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is for the people that own the track as well because they're not going to get good horses there, are they?
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed we can get this problem sorted at Thurles and we get decent jumping ground for the years ahead. That's Johnny Dineen's Joke of the Week. So that's it, folks. That is it for episode 13 of Upping The Ante. Any plans for the week, Johnny?
Plan the weekend. I have a little minor operation on Friday. Get a little cancerous little thing off my head there.
Oh, jeez.
Well, the girl that's doing it didn't seem to be worried anyway, so I'm not worried anyway.
You don't strike me as being worried about it.
No, I'd be like when you're going to speak to me, it is a bit like when you're on a plane. And you know when you see that the air hostess or the air whatever you call them, no, they're not hostess because some of them are men, air attendant or whatever you like. When you see that them people aren't worried, when you don't go trouble and you're saying, "Geez, what's happening here?" So next thing when you look up at their face and there's no reaction, you say, "I'm happy out." And it was a similar situation here. And she said, "You're not really worried about it."
Specialist not too worried.
No, she said, but she said you have to get it off at the same time. So I don't know
would you be nervous about that?
No, I would not at all. No, I don't know. Did she burn it off or what do you do? I couldn't even tell you. Or cut it out or whatever. So I'll be under the thing for that. I don't know, can I drive home or not? I'm not sure. I might chance it at the same time. We'll see.
Do you want me to collect you? No, anybody available? No?
I'll get someone. I could come home with the bus if I had to. Anyway.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but anyway.
Anything else?
And I have a young one. My little girl is 8 on Saturday. She was a party out in a kind of a
play centre.
Play place. Yeah.
Will you go?
I will. Yeah.
Would you get in and play on the little balls and down the slides and all that?
It's on between 2 and 4, so I'll just go in with my phone, sit down, and watch the race.
Jeez, you're a great father. You are a great
father.
My
missus will be there, she'll be looking. But nothing can go wrong. Everything's enclosed, and there's nothing can go wrong, really.
Yeah.
Everything's like rubber and these balls that they throw and everything. Like, bar the air ambulance lands on top of the roof, I won't even look up. You know what I mean? And I know there's something wrong, then all right, they're taking one of them away. But you wouldn't need to, because everything's...
So if there are friends of your daughter's mothers watching the show, everything is safe, you know? You've got to keep an eye on them at all stages.
Yeah, no, but there'll be other... My probably sister-in-law will be there as well. So my sister will have a bit of help with it.
So you won't have huge responsibility?
No, but I like to go, because the little one, she likes you to go to these things. You know what I mean? She does take a dim view now if you stayed at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'll be there, but I'll only be there in body only.
I was going
So it won't really interfere with my punting anyway.
Okay. You have a busy week, so.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Aoife's away for the weekend this weekend, so I have the kids all weekend. Wish me luck. I might go down to that party. Can we come?
You could, of course. There's room for 2 more, yeah.
There we go. So that is episode 13 of Upping The Ante. Done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in the same place, at the same time, next Tuesday, 6 o'clock next Tuesday, where we'll be up to episode 14. We're getting close now, Johnny.
That's it, yeah. Zooming in on top of it, yeah.
Zooming in, not too many early mornings left for you on a Tuesday.
No, thanks be to God, yeah.
There you go. If you are having a bet this weekend, don't forget to gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford to lose. And next week, I should say, Johnny, next week, I'm going to Willie Mullins' tomorrow, Wednesday, for his big pre-Cheltenham press day. So I'll try and come back with as many nuggets as I can. And in the meantime, if you want to read the Racing Post website on Wednesday and Thursday, you'll get all the nuggets from his press day. And of course, it'll be in the Racing Post on Thursday as well. So all the news from Willie Mullins.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should learn plenty.
Surely, yeah.
And you want me to ask him for you, no?
No.
You want him to get final demand in the Alba Park?
No, I don't want him to go in, but if I thought he was running it, I'd definitely be with him at the same time, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Same time, same place next week for episode 14 of Upping The Ante. But that's episode 13, done and dusted. Thanks for watching and join us again next week. He's been Johnny Dineen and I've been David Jennings.